Good morning, everyone. Good morning. On behalf of the entire faculty, staff, along with Mr. Riche, our principal, I would like to welcome you to our Black History program. February is dedicated as Black History Month, honoring the triumphs and struggles of African Americans throughout U.S. history, including the Civil Rights Movement and their artistic, cultural, and political achievements. We feel it is important to continue to educate our children about where they have come in order to know where they are going. All of these sacrifices made by these great people, our African culture has allowed us to be where we are today. We will forever be grateful. We have had a wonderful school year so far together with our children, and we strive to make learning the best possible for all of them. Once again, we welcome all of you and hope you enjoy our program. Our students and staff members have worked very hard to put this program together. Mr. Beck, our representative for the board, along with our principal, Mr. Riche, wanted everyone to know that they have suffered a great loss of a close family member and would not be here with us today. Please keep Mr. Riche, our principal, and all of his family members in your thoughts today as they say goodbye to their loved one. Once again, you are welcome and enjoy our program. Thank you. Good morning. Please bow your heads for our invocation. Heavenly Father, we thank you as we stand before you humbly in prayer for the close out of another year. We realize that without you, we would not be able to succeed. Father, we thank you that you will fill us with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as we discover more about the world. We thank you, Holy Spirit, as you guide us with our creativity to express ourselves. Help us to share, care for, and love one another. Watch over us and protect us. Father, we thank you that you will bless our people around the globe, that they may enjoy peace and the goodness of your love. We ask you to continue to bless our president, Mr. Riche, our assistant principal, Mrs. Rowe, and our faculty and staff. And we thank you, Father, that you will bless every child with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as they go about their daily tasks. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Please stand for the pledge. I pledge to allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm glad I have the right to vote, and that my parents do too, and all our friends and family, and that's including you. It didn't used to be that way, but now it is. You see, as a United States citizen, they gave that right to me. I exercise my right to vote for those I think the best, who will help protect my freedom and keep us heaven blessed. Though I am just one person, one citizen in a crowd, I need to exercise my right and make my country proud. If I should fail to cast my vote, then I cannot complain about the choices others made. Alas, I must refrain. Besides, who knows the outcome? One vote may break the tie and close elections such as this, and so I must comply. Even if I have to stand and wait an hour or two, or maybe even 3 or 4, that's what I chose to do. So I may cast my ballot and let my voice be heard, choosing whom I want to though others think absurd. I'm glad we have elections and have the right to choose. The ones we think will do the best and those we win or lose. We've done the best that we can do and voted faithfully, as millions did before us, to keep this nation free. God bless this land, America, and bless our leaders too, and help us safeguard freedom in our red, white, and blue, and help us be united, one nation, born to be, the one where people come to find liberty. And may the ones we vote for be worthy of our trust, and pledge their Savior honor to do things that are just, and strive to make a difference as they serve faithfully the cause of this great nation, this land of liberty.
Small town in Mississippi. Fannie Lou Campbell lives in a shack on Mr. D's plantation with her husband Belle and their 2 daughters.
Early one morning in August, there's a knock. Pat finds 2 young white men standing at the door.
Good morning, Mr. Hammer. We're having a meeting tonight at the church.
I don't hear. Don't you want a better life for your children?
I know you boys mean well, but you better be more.
Fannie Lou and Pat watch the young men knock on their neighbor's door.
Anybody that goes to that meeting is asking for a big truck.
Pat. We've been waiting so long for things to change. Maybe it's time we do something.
Maybe it's not black folks are murdered for speaking up and people don't question it when it happens.
That's even the more reason to stop waiting and start changing things ourselves. Like that man said, don't we want a better life for our children?
Fannie Lou is one of the better cotton pickers on Mr. D's plantation. This day she is called in to clean Mr. D's house.
Mr. D sits in the kitchen looking at a catalog.
Morning, Mr. D. What you eyeing?
Fannie Lou gets a worried look on her face.
Don't forget the dust under the couches.
I thought I'd start in the bathroom.
Don't worry about that. It's under the dog's bathroom.
Fannie Lou starts to get angry. As she cleans, she keeps hearing Mr. D's words. It's only the dog's bathroom.
Her family doesn't have running water or a toilet inside their shack, but Mr. D's dog has his own bathroom.
That night, Fannie Lou goes to the voters registration meeting. The police patrol outside with dogs. The mayor writes down names as people walk in.
There are 30 people at the meeting. 2 people stand up and say they're from the Student Nonviolent Corridor Committee, SNCC. The organization works to help Black people with civil rights.
I know you risked a lot coming here tonight, and I know you saw the mayor writing down names, but he is an elected official. People voted him into office, people get voted about.
In order to do that, though, you have to go down to the county office to register. That's the first step on a long road to freedom.
But we'll lose our jobs if we try that, or worse.
If you're fine, we'll make sure your family eats.
We have a bus going down to the county courthouse on Friday. Who will come with us?
Fannie Lou looks around. Now one hand is up. People all free. She's scared too. Slowly she raises her hand.
I'll go.
Fannie Lou's neighbors are inspired. They raise their hand too.
One Friday, Fannie Lou and 15 others ride a school bus to the courthouse. When they arrive, the sheriff locks the door. His hand is on the gun.
What are you here for?
We're here to register to vote.
You can't bring all these people inside. You'll have to go in two at a time.
Fannie Lou and her neighbors wait for hours. Finally, it's Fannie Lou's turn. She steps up to the desk.
What's your name?
Miss Ham,
Who's your boss?
Mr. D. I don't know what a de facto laws are.
The register laughs and slams the voting shut.
Fannie Lou and her neighbors ride back to Louisville in silence.
That test was hard. I guess I didn't pass. Maybe I'm too dumb to vote after all.
They only made that test hard for blacks. Whites is a much easier test. Some can't read, they still pass.
Suddenly, a police officer stops the bus. Will and James get out.
Inside the bus, people are nervous.
Fannie Lou starts singing. She gets everyone to join in. When James and Will return, everyone in the bus is calm.
They fined us $30. Our bus is too yellow, they said.
Too yellow? What does that mean?
It means they're trying to scare us. They don't want us to vote. They want us to back down.
The next morning, Mr. D comes over to Fannie Lou's shack.
Where were you today? I couldn't find you.
Trying to register to vote.
Now, we can't have that. You need to get your name off that list and everything be like it was before.
I don't want things to be the same as before.
I'm warning you on this once. You need to get your name off that list.
Then I guess I have to leave.
You have 2 hours to get out.
Pep watches Fannie Lou have the few things she has.
Fannie Lou, it's not too late. You could reconsider. This is our home. We've been here for 18 years.
For 18 years, I've taken care of Mr. D's children and kept his books. I nursed his family when they were sick. How come I'm good enough to do all that, but I'm not good enough to vote?
Why is voting such important?
If all these people are trying to keep us from doing it, then it must be pretty important.
Fannie Lou moves out the plantation. Will and James hire her to help them register people to vote.
Soon after violence breaks out in Louisville, houses are set on fire. 2 girls are shot and seriously injured.
I don't want to drag you and the girls into this path. I'll take care of myself. You make sure the kids are okay.
Fannie Lou goes to NCC training classes and meetings across the South. Wherever she goes, she tells people how important it is to register to vote.
When she comes back to Louisville, it's winter. People there are hungry. There isn't much work.
Fannie Lou helps give out clothes and food in town. Hundreds of people line up. She gets an idea.
Don't push. There's plenty for everyone, but you have to register to vote first.
Mrs. Hammond, you got a jacket for my boy?
Sure do, but you gotta go down to the county courthouse on Friday.
Okay, it's a deal.
We're getting voted. We've got to eat.
You've got to vote too, or you'll never be a first-class American.
But look how much time you're away from trying to register.
Black people have been beaten and killed for no reason. Now at least we are suffering for something positive.
Slowly more and more blacks register to vote. But the test they give blacks to register is still very hard. Fannie Lou has failed the test a few times. This time she is ready.
Good luck, Fannie Lou.
I study hard and I know every word on the Constitution. They won't be able to turn me down this time.
Don't count on that, Fannie Lou. The odds are against you. If you're a white, you might not even have to take a test.
That's why I'm going to keep trying. It's not fair. Nothing's going to stop me.
Finally, in January 1963, Fannie Lou passes a test. She has registered to vote.
Two of her fellow workers are arrested outside a restaurant in Mississippi.
The police give no reason for bringing them to jail. They question Fannie Lou.
Where are you from?
Reuben,
I just checked the FBI's records on you. You were in South Carolina a few months ago. Why?
there was a citizen training school.
You were there to march, and you were there to see Martin Luther King Jr., and we can't have that, understand? I want you to make sure she wishes she was dead. And if you don't do what I say, what I do to you won't be as nice.
The inmates beat Fannie Lou. The next day, the three women are released.
The federal government files charges against the officers involved in the arrest and beating. They eventually are found not guilty by a white jury.
Will and James hold a meeting shortly after Fannie Lou is released from jail. Will has a new idea.
This must stop. Let's put our own candidates on a ballot for governor and lieutenant governor in November.
It's too late for that. Besides, how can we do that when people are being beaten for even trying to register to vote?
What if black people didn't have to register? What if they didn't have to go down to the county courthouse at all?
They can't vote without doing that. I don't understand.
The people in charge of voting aren't letting black folks pass the voting test, so let's have our own mock election. We'll call it the freedom vote.
When politicians see how many black people want to vote, they won't be able to ignore us anymore. We'll have a strong voice.
In November, civil rights workers travel across Mississippi. They set up ballot boxes in restaurants, beauty parlors, and on plantations.
Fannie Lou and the other ghosts go around to urge people to vote in the freedom vote.
Good morning, sir. My name is Fannie Lou Hammer. Have you heard of the freedom vote?
I don't know. It's not worth the trouble.
You don't have to go down to the courthouse.
I don't.
No, you can vote right here.
But if my boss sees my name, I'll lose my house and job. I've got children.
No one will take down your name.
Is that so?
That's so. We got Doc Henry running for governor, and the Reverend and King of Licensing Governor.
Is that so? I mean, Doc Henry is a good man.
He sure is. And if you vote today, someday you'll be able to elect Doc Henry or someone as good as him for the election.
Show me what to do.
On the night of the election, civil rights workers have a huge victory party.
It felt good to cast my vote. I like the feel of being able to have a say like other Americans.
About 90 90,000 people voted in our special election. I guess people can't keep saying that black folks aren't interested in voting. That's right, but you know what's even more important? Doc Henry got more votes than the man who won the election. You mean if the people who were registered and actually voted in the real election, Doc Henry could have won? Yes, until that happens though, we have to take whatever victories we can. Today's a big victory. We have taken the first step into freedom.
Freddie Lou Harris continued the fight to make it easier for blacks to vote. She ran for governor and state senator later in her life, but lost both elections. Freddie Lou died in 1977, but her hard work still lives on today. Mississippi has more African Americans elected officials than any state in the union.
Ruby Bridges was only 6. People tried to hit her with sticks. Hateful words at her throne. Hate to all with her skin tone. She went to school on her own. The kids all left. She was alone. She wants to learn everything in life, but she goes to school with strife. Ruby was brave and learned at school with just one teacher who was cool. Her teacher smiles, but Ruby sees her fear and uncertainty. Ruby does her best to stand tall and not let fear make her fall. Ignoring hate coming from the crowd, Ruby makes her country proud. In fear and ignorance, people stayed until Ruby showed the way. Be respectful and do what is right, and then peace will be in sight.
Great job, great job. The band students, as we were walking over to bring the chairs and all of the things back, they asked, Miss Brew, we did a good job. You guys did an outstanding job and you made everyone proud. So keep up the great work. Just want you to know, families, for some of the students, this year was the first year that they had their hands on an instrument. And I will tell you again, you did better than me. Keep going. Now we're going to have a song by the BRM Choir, and give us a moment to get our music together.
Today's a new day, but there's no sunshine. Nothing but clouds in the dark. My heart is feeling like a gold mine. Today's a new day. Where's my blue skies? Where's the love and the joy that you promised to tell me it's alright? I almost gave up, but a power that I can't explain. Today's a new day, but there's no sunshine. Nothing but clouds and it's dark in my heart and it feels like a cold night. Today's a new day, so where are my blue skies? Where's the love and the joy that you promised me? Tell me it's alright. I almost gave up, but a power that I can't explain fell from heaven like a shower.
I've been walking with my face turned to the sun, weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, when I can for my people. While the clouds roll back in the sky.
4th through 10th members bombed the 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama.
Hey Carol, your dress is so pretty. Thank you, my grandma made it.
Y'all want to come to my grandma's house after church to jump rope?
I can show y'all how to double dutch. I want to go. I do! Hurry, guys.
That Sunday in 1963, love and forgiveness will be put to the test. A bomb planted by a white supremacist ripped through the building. 200 people were inside, 22 people were injured. Denise McNair, Addie Mae Collins, Carol Robinson, and Cynthia Wesley, all of the girls under the age of 15 were killed.
Good morning. My name is Jaya Washington. I'm here today with Lisa McNair and Sarah Rudolph, survivors of the 1963 explosion at a church in Birmingham, Alabama, that killed 4 little black girls. Ladies, what do you remember that Sunday before the explosion?
We were especially excited because it was Youth Sunday. That meant that we were in charge of everything. I was in charge of making the programs. I was in the bathroom when the explosion occurred. I was standing by the sink waiting for the others to be done.
How did the bombing change your life?
I was in the hospital for more than 2 months. I lost my right eye and temporarily lost sight in my left eye. I had a therapy dog to help me cope during this difficult time, following the loss of my sister. My entire life has been changed by this deadly blast.
In what way?
I became an activist in the civil rights movement.
And you, Sarah, can you tell us a little bit more about what happened that day since you was in the restroom when the explosion occurred?
I remember Denise McNair, Cynthia Wesley, and my sister Addie in the bathroom stalls. When they came out, my sister Addie was tying Denise's sash onto her dress. I heard a loud boom.
Why do you continue to share your story?
Well, first off, it's important to remember our history, because if we don't know about our history, we are destined to repeat it. My sister's life reminds us that America can change and cautions us to remember that this nation belongs to all of us, not just the custodians of white power and privilege.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with our audience today.
students, but they didn't even have any papers. They memorized their lines, and that was very big. That's how some of the people on showbiz, you know? Everyone did, oh, I'm sorry, Ethan, I'm sorry. Everyone did an outstanding job, Ethan, I changed my mind. But let's give everyone another big round of applause. Ethan is going to do the intro specifying certain students. At this time, we'd like Ms. Dorsey to please come up at this time. Ms. Dorsey.
Good morning. Mr. Ron Alcorn represents the residents of Ward 1. Mr. Alcorn was newly elected in 2016, re-elected in 2019, and he served on the finance, insurance, recreation, federal programs, economic development, engineering and grants, and emergency preparedness committees. Mr. Alcorn is employed by the Louisiana Coca-Cola Company. He resides in the Belle community. Mr. Ron Alcorn.
Good morning. Good morning to the faculty and staff and students. I know Mr. Richey is not here today, but I still want to take the time out to thank him for his outstanding leadership and also the opportunity to share with you today. His commitment of equipping, empowering, and developing students for success is commendable. To the teachers and the staff, your commitment of education has not gone unnoticed. Through each of the contributions of each of these students, your influence will reach multiple generations. To the awesome students at Belle Rose Middle School, let me begin by expressing how proud I am of each of you. You have the power to achieve within you. Keep striving and pushing for greatness and follow your dreams. My assignment today is to share on the power of the vote. The 15th Amendment in the United States Constitution prohibits federal government in each state from denying a citizen, the right to vote based on the citizen's race, color, previous conditions of servitude. What that means is every citizen in the United States has the right to vote to make their voice heard. Now, we've made great strides in the voting right among African Americans. We've had an African American president, but still, there's still too many African Americans who are not registered to vote. And there's others that stay home on election day. All freedom-loving Americans, I'm going to say it again, all freedom-loving Americans should remain alert in their voting rights. Now, there's still some, again I will say, there's still some. If they could change the laws, they would to prevent African Americans from voting. But we could never let that happen again. The struggle to eliminate race discrimination in voting involves the lives of many people. For example, John Lewis, now member of Congress from Georgia, helped lead Freedom Summer efforts in 1964 to register African American voters in the South. Many others joined in that struggle, risking life and limb. One other participant, John Doerr, received the President Medal of Freedom from President Barack Obama in May. He headed the Justice Department and the Civil Rights Division for much of the 1960s. Doerr also played a key role in promoting voting rights. In 1964, he helped investigate prosecuted crimes that related to the killing of James Chaney, Michael Schwarzenegger, and Andrew Goodman, 3 civil rights volunteers who were killed while participating in a voter registration drive in Meridian, Mississippi. Doerr also represented the Justice Department efforts to protect marchers from voting rights from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama in 1965. We have another, Frederick Douglass. He was an advocate for voting for equal rights for all people, which included the right to vote. He said, if we know enough to be hung, we know enough to vote. If the Negro knows enough to pay taxes to support government, he knows enough to vote. Taxation and representation should go together. If he knows enough to shoulder a musket and fight for the flag for the government, he knows enough to vote. What I ask of the Negro is not being violent, not pity, not sympathy, but simple justice. In early 1965, Dr. Martin Luther King brought the nation's attention to the issue with the voting registration drive in Selma, Alabama. They were met with fierce opposition by Alabama officials, which eventually led to the march from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama. When the march arrived at the state capitol, there were 25,000 marchers strong. Much later, in August of 1965, President Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act, which prohibited discrimination of voting based on race. Now, there are heroes in other groups as well who have fought to secure the right to vote, from other different populations of immigrants and for American Indians. Even 25 years later, after the Constitution was written, the struggle is not over. New heroes for voting rights are needed and are emerging in each generation. The journey of individuals was filled with a twist, a turn, setbacks, disappointments, naysayers, critics, self-doubt, and unbelief. They were tested in every way, but realized their steps were ordered and their path was cruel, but yet beautiful, just as it should be. Although it was challenging, the wisdom, skills, perseverance gave them a solid foundation on which they stood on. They paid the price on behalf of someone else so that others' experience may be a little easier. Students, you stand on the shoulders of your parents, grandparents, and other great men and women who did far more with much less than you have today. They carried a sense of dedication and hard work. Just as they did, you must commit to the spirit of excellence and consistency, not only in your own academic life, but in your own overall life. I encourage you to show the world what you have learned. Keep the dreams and sacrifice of love. Know the value of what is deep down inside of you. The torch has been bought, paid for, and now it's in your hands. Inspire someone, lift up someone, encourage someone, and finally, return to where you got started. Help someone else know that they are just as special as you are. I also encourage you to celebrate today. Get up and go back doing the work of making this world better, stronger, fair for all people who don't have the luxury and privilege of getting a quality education as you are doing now. In closing, whenever I'm afforded the opportunity to speak into the lives of young people, I always offer the words that are kept close to my heart. Whatever you do, strive to do it so well that no man living, no man dead, and no man yet born can do it better than you can. May God bless you, and may God keep all your dreams. Make sure all your dreams come true. Thank you.
Let's once again give Mr. Alcorn another big round of applause. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and give us some very good and valuable information about our history and heritage. Thank you once again. At this time, the floor is open for our remarks. We have our superintendent here, Mr. Couvillon. If you would like to come up and share a word, and we have a board member, Mr. Lewis. I saw the sheriff was here. He left early. Okay.
Hey, good morning, y'all. Well, I don't like to be in the position to follow Mr. Alcorn or all the great performers we had today. I can't stand up to that. But I do want to say, you know, one of the things that struck me about our great performance is when Miss Betty Lou said, I don't want things to be the same anymore. I don't want things to be the same anymore. And of course, that's been true in history in the United States and around the world, and it's still true today. And we see our presentation here that's been running through, and we see famous athletes and famous musicians, politicians and astronauts. But I think what our students showed us today is that it's really people in those smaller communities, regular people like you and me, who can really make that change. So as you grow and as you see things in the world that you don't want to be the same anymore, you need to be the ones, and you will be the ones, who stand up and say things need to change and be the leaders for that change. So I appreciate the invite. Thank you so much. Students, you did an awesome job today. Thank you, teachers and everyone. And I'm going to pass it down to Mr. Lewis, one of our board members here in Belle Rose.
Mr. Alcorn, that was a dynamite speech. Thank you, man. God bless you. I would like this time to ask that each and every one of you keep the Principal Niles Richie in your thoughts and prayers as he shares mourn the loss of a dear family member. On behalf of Belle Rose Middle Assumption Parish School Board, I would like to personally thank Ms. Bro and her staff for what a fine job that you have done to take this opportunity to teach and to educate our young men and women about the life and legacy and time of Dr. Martin Luther King. I can tell you everything Dr. King lived for, everything he stood for, and particularly what he died for, was on display here today. The young men and women, you did a fantastic job. And you all had the courage that I've never had to stand before a group of audience of adults and say the things that Dr. Martin Luther King lived for. I can tell you truly there has been a long road to freedom. I'm a testament of that. Let me say that on the evening of the death of Dr. King, I was a 7th grade student at W.H. Reed High School, which is now Napoleonville Primary. I never understood what all my teachers were crying and shouting about, not seeing teachers, men and women, and they were shouting and they were crying. And the thing that you had over me that time, I knew nothing about a Dr. Martin Luther King. But you do. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Thank you so much for taking the time out to come out. At this time, I thought it would be very fitting for us to close our program with the Black National Anthem. Some of the parents, if you look on the back of the program, all of the words are listed there. Students, if you have a program, or if you are sitting next to someone with a program, please follow along and read. And out of respect, I would like students to stand and not move around and be serious when you're singing this song. Thank you so much. And just to say, and I'm sure the teachers would agree, the behavior in the gym has been outstanding. Outstanding behavior. We are so proud of you. And I think the teachers are planning a surprise. I'm not sure exactly what their surprise is, but they're planning a surprise. All right. Now, have your attention? Please get near someone with the words. We will begin the song. Lift every voice and sing the Black National Anthem at this time.